What's up guys, Nerdlocker.com here, and I have this week's comic book reviews for you. I'm starting it off with Batman number 21, 0 Year. I was a little iffy going into this. I mean, I love Team Batman, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. They've just done a phenomenal job so far. But I was a little iffy on this because I know they're going before year one, and I think year one is such a good story. I'm kind of confused on what they think they could possibly show us. But we get to see Bruce operating just as kind of a vigilante without, being Batman. And they introduced the Red Hood gang and the Red Hood and him trying to figure out who they are. It's really cool because they use the history that we know of the Red Hood, but they're using it on a bigger level. And Bruce Wayne is already uncovering this. And he's back in Gotham, hasn't told anybody, still is, legally declared dead because he's not ready to come back. So there's a lot of interesting points in this book that really kind of pulled me back into the story. You also see a very awesome Batman rogue before he is a rogue. So I'm interested to see how 0 Year takes this person and turns them into the villain we know. Awesome backup story with art by Raphael Albuquerque, who I absolutely love. All in all, still love this issue. They have not let me down, and I can't wait to see where this goes. I think it's 11-issue arc. Either way, I'm excited. I'm on board. I'm giving this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey there guys, Cubby here with my comic reviews for this week. I got to read Manhattan Projects number 12 for you guys. Another great title that just really makes you think, drives you crazy. It made no sense for the longest time to me. It was just random story this, random character this, random introduction, but now it's finally all coming together, and essentially one of the main characters has been out to destroy science in its entirety, and getting all these crazy minds together causes them to do too much, and he decides to take them all out, and oh my god, things go crazy, and it ends with one of the coolest images of Albert Einstein I've ever seen in my life, and for that alone I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Definitely check this out. This is one to read. Do it.
Hey guys, I got to check out another number 1 out of IDW called Thumbprint. Apparently it's a concept by Joe Hill, so you know I had to pick it up, but the writer is actually Jason Sierra Mealy, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. The concept is basically this woman who has some military background, and she's getting these threatening messages, and there's like a little bit of flashback stuff going on, which is a little bit confusing, but what's going on is she's getting these threatening messages with nothing but a single thumbprint on it. She's very offended by getting this message. I don't know how that single thumbprint is so threatening. I'm interested in finding that out, and because it is a Joe Hill concept, it usually doesn't find its footing until the middle issue anyway, and this is a 3-issue arc, so I don't really have to deal with it that long, and I think that it's got enough pull for me to want to read 3 issues. Seems interesting. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. You should check it out.
Hey there nerds, Jim here with my comic book review this week. It is Uncanny X-Force number 6. I'm going to be honest with you. I really loved the last series with Rick Remender writing it. I thought the Assassin Squad was an amazing idea. I loved the group they had going. Deadpool, Wolverine, Phantom X. I loved how they all went together. Psylocke, even Angel in the beginning. Great. The stories were great. They were violent. I loved it. I'm not so hype on this one yet. Bishop's one of my favorite characters, so when they brought him back, I thought, oh man, this could be so awesome, so amazing. I don't like how they're treating him. I don't like where it went. I don't like that bear thing in his head. And we pick up right after that. This is definitely a filler issue. It's got some nice in the psyche area with Wolverine and Psylocke having a conversation. I enjoyed that part because it's a lot of Wolverine, you're this thing, but now you're a headmaster, and you were assassin, and you're trying to say you're not, and you're making me, Psylocke, still be the assassin, so which is it? What are you? You can't be the good guy and the bad guy. That was a really cool development, but at the same time, we're still fighting Spiral, who's not really my favorite anyway, and Puck, I think, is pathetic. I really don't like him on the team, so I'm having a tough time with this new Uncanny X-Force. I'm only going to give it 3 Nerd Skulls. I really hope it can ramp up. I hope they get Bishop to a place where he's cool and contributing. I hope Phantom X, Cluster, and the whole group can figure out what they're doing. But right now, I'm only going to give it 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, this is Haley and I got to read Thor, God of Thunder number 9 this week, and I have to say what's really great about this series is that I've kind of just am able to pick it up here and there, so I'm not following it from beginning to end, and it's still a really great read. Like, I don't feel like I've missed out a lot on the story. I know that there's things that I'm missing, but I am able to follow it and enjoy it still, which is what's really great about it. What I love is that there's a lot of action, but there's also a lot of story development. So you're just constantly thinking and you get to enjoy all this action, and it's just a really great story to follow. And I'm really excited about what they've been building up in this issue. It's great seeing the 3 different Thors. There's just dynamics between all the characters. I'm giving this book 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls, and I can't wait to read the next issue.
Hey fellow nerds, Jasper here with my review of Savage Wolverine issue 6. The issue itself really comprises between the interactions between Elektra, who makes a cameo appearance in the issue itself, Spider-Man, and more or less majority of the Avengers who are just off in the distance. It's really cool because the interaction with Elektra coexists with overall the story with Wilson Fisk and the Hand. So Elektra herself is looking for help in searching for Bullseye, or at least his body, which totally vanished from the crypts of the S.H.I.E.L.D. base. But what's more interesting about it is what Wilson Fisk's, at least his role in the issue itself, and more or less the interactions between Wolverine and Elektra herself. That even Wolverine doesn't have a idea of what is particularly going on and why she needs his help. So it's very interesting to see at least how the dynamics of these 2 characters are, seeing as they're both masterful assassins and both have a shady or at least mysterious past. So I'm giving this issue a 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Definitely check it out.
All right, I got to read Guardians of the Galaxy number 3. This one goes a little more into space politics and everything that's going on with Star-Lord and his dad and Earth. And my only problem with this book is everything else Bendis has been doing has really been spitting out at us. And I feel like this one's really taking its time coming out. And I want more of this quicker, because I hate when these big books get announced and they really build you up and they come out later than they should, and it just feels like the story's taking forever. But you see the team together. You still haven't really. You see the team together, but you still haven't really see them like together in space fighting all this crazy stuff, and that's really what I want to see more of. I want the issues to come out quicker, and I just want to see the story move along a little bit. I'm still loving it. It's still awesome. Its artwork is beautiful. Bendis is still the man, and I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
So I got to read Batgirl number 21 this week, and while I'm a huge fan of Barbara Gordon, and I love the fact that she is back in action and is a cool character, there's some cool stuff that's been happening, and new ventriloquist being introduced, and she definitely has a great beat-down fight with her. Like, they definitely get into it, and it's really awesome. There's some really cool girl power images, and like, yeah, F yeah, Barbara Gordon, you're awesome. But there's just something about the character being written in this particular book that just doesn't sit well with me right now. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in her life, and that's probably why I don't like it, because I don't want to think about stuff like that. But it's really insensitive of me, I'm sorry. But I just like it when she is powerful and strong, and she stands up, and she, doesn't let anything get her down. And I understand the last couple issues, there's been some crazy stuff go down, especially within her family, and that's kind of driven all these rifts, especially her Bat family as well. I don't like her right now, but this book is really good. This actual issue was pretty intense and had me going, had me heart pounding. So I'm gonna give it a high score. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. I don't like where she's at, but I hope she gets out of that soon. And I mean, it's just what the writer's doing with her. Gail Simone, you're great, and I hope you get her out of the funk soon.
Walking Dead 111 came out this week, and I wanted to take a moment to talk to you guys about it because you may have heard that I've had a little bit of disdain towards the comic lately just because they've kind of been falling off track. But in this issue, I want to bring it all back and get everybody reading this book again, just because Negan in this issue shows a side of himself, not a good side, not a bad side, not anything specific, but a certain characteristic about himself that makes him even worse. And I will repeat myself, he was even worse in this issue issue than the Governor. And I'll give you a reason why. The Governor is this character that, in my eyes, Robert Kirkman created as someone that would be the worst case scenario of someone that you would come across in the zombie apocalypse. Whereas I think Negan is who Robert Kirkman thinks each one of us would be in the zombie apocalypse ourselves. If unhinged, if really not given any rules and we were able to make the rules ourselves. Negan is this really misogynistic man that takes women for slaves and all this different stuff, and I think Robert Kirkman might see a little bit of that in himself, which is a little bit scary, but we are in the real world and there's not an apocalypse, so I'm going to give this book 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls because it really brings Walking Dead back on track, especially the comic. I'm not going to go into the TV series, but the comic is back, so you should check it out. Walking Dead 111, 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
I got a chance to read Peter Panzerfaust, number 11. Have loved this book from the beginning. It's interesting because I want to see how this ends, but I don't want to see it end, so it's kind of like I want to hurry up and know how this plays out and why, we're talking to the different members of, that have hung out with Peter and was in World War II with him. This one, we see them taking down a convoy and they kind of obtain some information and that Hook is still alive. And I thought that was awesome that he's still out there and he's still going to be looking for them. And at the end of the book, they show you something big dealing with Hook. Just some really cool stuff that I can't wait to see how this turns out. It looks like it's going to get a lot more violent. I feel like things are really going to escalate. But I can't put this book down. I think it's awesome. You guys should really be checking out this book. It's Peter Panzerfaust, and I'm giving it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
I got to read The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, number 1, and I've been waiting for this book for about 2 years now, and I finally got to read it, and it was what I had been hoping it would be and more. I think obviously one of the best things in it is Becky Cloonan's artwork. It is what I was hoping for. So beautiful. It fits with the story. It fits with the music videos from the Killjoys album, and it's just amazing. It fits with this story so well. And then of course Gerard Way's writing, we can't even, it's just so amazing. I love that there's a lot of little hints to the album in it, and I know that we're going to get more. This is only the first issue. It's so exciting. We're dealing with the aftermath of Sing, so we're finding out the Killjoys and they're dead, but we know they're going to come back, and I just can't wait to see more. So I'm giving this book 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Pick it up.
Hey gang, Jasper here with my review of Transformers Prime Beast Hunters issue 2. I did really enjoy this book due to the fact that it was very deceptive. You didn't necessarily know who the good guy or the bad guy was in the issue. More so, you do see the interaction, or at least the fight, between Dinobot's leader, Sludge, and the Insecticons leader, Kickback. It's what Kickback really divulges towards the middle of the issue, that the focus totally shifts with Sludge trying to investigate his own people. It's very interesting. You, in a sense, find out that it is very who's who in regards to just the mysteriousness of the issue itself. You don't know who the good guy or bad guy is, and that's what they really emphasize with the book itself. And it was very well written. The artwork really went great along with it. I'm giving this issue 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Check it out.
I also got to read Suicide Squad, number 21. Now, when the new 52 came out, I kind of didn't even want to give this book a shot. I was irritated, and I was like, you changed Harley Quinn, and blah, blah, blah. And I read the Death of the Family tie-ins, and I kind of read a little before that, and this book has me involved now. You got my attention. It's a very fun book. James Gordon is now on the team, which is crazy because if you're reading Batgirl, we all thought he died, but the last couple issues it's shown that he is now part of the Suicide Squad. We're adding villains too, Unknown Soldier, Cheetah, and this issue we see Harley Quinn kind of taking this place by storm and talking to Amanda Waller and figuring out a better deal because she still thinks they're getting screwed, which, I mean, they kind of are. There's something really big going on behind the scenes here, and I'm interested to see how this plays out with the characters. But they actually flash forward a little bit in the book, so they don't tell you how the deal ends. I'm sure we're going to see more of that next issue, but it's really cool. I think all these characters are being utilized great, and yeah, I want to see more of this book. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, I love it. 4 to 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey there guys, so Cubby here got to read Star Wars number 6 from Dark Horse this week, and I really love this title so much. It's so good. It's such like a great take on these classic characters that you know and you love, and if you've seen Star Wars a million times, like most of us probably have, you hear Luke in his little whiny, complainy voice from Mark Hamill in the 70s being like, oh no, what are you talking about? Like, it's awesome. Like that happens. That really happens in this book. And like if you can put yourself in that mindset of how you are when you watch it and seeing those characters, it works perfectly. It's what makes like watching Game of Thrones after you've read it awesome, or any book adaptation when it's done really well and you like watch it or you read it and you just get it and you can connect with it. That's what this book is, and I love it for it. This particular issue, I mean the last one, it was like, oh my god, Leia's gonna die, and this one, it pretty much starts off with the same thing, and it's really intense, but the Rebels put it all together, they get saved, and they get some help with, you know, obviously like Ben shows up and helps Luke out, and it's like, oh my god, is he still talking to me? It's really cool, because I love that they're still carrying that. I hope they really go in depth to it eventually, but not right now. It's really mysterious and cool, and I love that Luke has no idea what's going on. But other than that, just the story all around is really cool and it was awesome. There's a big, huge, crazy thing that they do, and a really cool explanation on how they figure it out, and it's just intense and awesome. 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls, hands down, one of the best books. I'm so stoked right now for it. Ooh.
So the first issue of Superman Unchained comes out this week, and I wanted to talk about it because I'm a huge Scott Snyder fan. Mostly his indie books, just because like he can really go off, especially with a horror like Severed. That book was fantastic to me, and I wanted to see how he would work on a character like Superman, much like he did with Batman. I wanted to see how he can where he can take the character. And in this first issue, I wasn't too impressed. I will say though that I was just really distracted by Jim Lee's artwork. I think that he's kind of becoming oversaturated for me. He's everywhere in DC right now, and I really am sick of seeing Clark's hair waving in the wind with him. It really kind of annoys me, and I really want to see another artist on the book. Scott Snyder's writing was very good, and it always will be to me. I want to see where he's going to take this character, like I said before. So I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls, but just try and get past the Jim Lee. I think you might be a little bit surprised with the ending.